Alien mother begged for food for her starving son. What happened next? Beginning the encounter. The twin suns of Drosselus were hung low in the horizon, casting fractured shadows across the barren plains. Once, this world had teemed with life. Rivers like silver veins, forests thick with violet leaf trees, and skies dotted with winged leviathans. But centuries of war, mining, and orbital bombardments had left it scarred. Now it was dust, radiation, and hunger. Captain Leora Miles adjusted her oxygen mask as she scanned the ruins through her visor. The settlement she had been dispatched to investigate was supposed to be abandoned decades ago. Yet orbital sensors picked up faint heat signatures, signs of life, impossible though it seemed. Her ship, the Odyssey, hovered several kilometers away, cloaked in the shimmering heat haze. She was expecting contact. Most scavenger runs ended in silence. But then, through the rubble, she saw her, a figure stumbling forward. Thin, trembling. Not human. The alien woman collapsed to her knees, her limbs long and fragile like sculpted glass. Her skin was pale gray, marred by faint streaks that glowed dimly under the setting suns. Cradled in her arms was a smaller figure, a child unconscious, ribcage visible through translucent skin. The mother lifted her head toward Leora, her black eyes shimmering with desperation. And though her voice was cracked, the translator chip embedded in Leora's ear caught the plea clearly. Please, food. My son's starving. Leora froze. Encounters with survivors were rare, but more so with Drosselins, the very species once branded enemies of humanity. The Drosselin War had ended a century ago, leaving both sides decimated. To find survivors now was like stumbling upon ghosts. Yet the plea pierced through every layer of Leora's training, her orders, her suspicion. She was a soldier, a scavenger, but also a mother once. A memory stirred, her own daughter, years ago, crying of hunger when rations ran short on the mining colonies. Stay still, Leora said softly, lowering her weapon. I'll help you. The alien mother clutched her son tighter, as if afraid he might be taken. Leora knelt, reaching into her survival pack for a nutrient bar, breaking it into small pieces. The woman's hand shook as she fed her son, bit by bit, his faint breath deepening. That was the first moment, the breaking of barriers. One mother to another, bound not by species, but by the cry of hunger. Middle, the journey and the secret. Over the next hours, Leora learned fragments of their story. The alien mother's name was Sarah. Her son, barely 6 cycles old, was named Kale. They were the last of the settlement once hidden underground, eking out survival with fungal crops and recycled water. But the crops had failed, poisoned by rising radiation from old battle debris. The others perished slowly, one by one, until only Sarah and Kale remained. They told us humans would never return, Sarah said to the translator, her voice fragile, that you would destroy what little we had if we were found. But I had no choice. My child is all I have. Leora wrestled with her own conflict. Protocol demanded she report any alien life immediately. Command would likely quarantine or dissect them under pretense of scientific study. She'd seen it before. But as Kale's breathing steadied under the nourishment Leora provided, she knew she couldn't consign them to such a fate. Instead, she smuggled them aboard the Odyssey. Inside the ship, Sarah marveled at the technology, sleek consoles glowing with soft light, corridors lined with oxygen filtration panels. Kale, weak but curious, reached out to touch the walls, whispering words in his own tongue. For the first time in years, Sarah allowed herself to hope. But hope, as Leora knew, was fragile. On their 3rd day in orbit, as she charted a course for a safer quadrant, a distress beacon intercepted her navigation console. It wasn't random. It was a coded transmission from human patrols. They had detected her deviation from assigned routes. Suspicion would fall quickly. They'll come for us, Leora muttered. Sarah watched her silently, then asked, Why do you help us? We are not your kind. Once we were your enemies. Leora's gaze drifted to the stars outside the viewport. Because I buried my daughter 10 years ago. Disease took her before I could find treatment. I know what it means to lose a child. I won't let you lose yours, not if I can stop it. Their bond deepened in that confession. But the universe was not so merciful. Rising conflict, the pursuit. The patrol ship arrived sooner than expected. A frigate-class vessel, bristling with weapons. Leora's odyssey was small, built for exploration and scavenging, not combat. Her comms unit crackled. Captain Miles, you are off course and carrying unauthorized life signatures. Surrender your vessel for boarding. She cursed under her breath. Sarah gripped her arm. If they find us... They won't, Leora said firmly. What followed was a desperate chase through asteroid fields littered with wreckage from the old wars. Leora maneuvered the Odyssey with precision born from years of flying under fire. Laser blasts cut through debris, lighting the void in brief bursts of fire. Sarah shielded Kale in the cabin, whispering lullabies in her language even as the ship trembled from near misses. Finally, using a slingshot trajectory around a collapsing star fragment, Leora outmaneuvered the frigate, slipping into a dead zone where scanners faltered. The patrol lost them, for now, but fuel reserves were low. Supplies dwindled, and Kale, though better, remained frail. They couldn't run forever. Revelation, the hidden archive. While searching for possible refuge, Sarah revealed something she had kept hidden. There is a place, she said, an archive left by our ancestors, deep beneath the ruins of the capital city. It holds knowledge, seeds, medicine, enough to rebuild, enough to save my son. Leora's eyes narrowed. Why didn't you tell me before? Because knowledge is dangerous. If humans take it, we will lose everything again. But now, I trust you. The decision weighed heavy. Returning to Drosolis's capital meant risking everything. The patrols, the radiation zones, the collapsing ruins. But it was also a chance to give Kale a future. They landed in the dead city, towers like broken teeth piercing the crimson sky. Sarah guided them through subterranean tunnels, her memory sharp despite years of absence. At last, they reached the archive, a massive chamber lined with crystalline data nodes, glowing faintly with stored energy. In its center was a chamber of seeds sealed in stasis, untouched by decay. Leora's breath caught. Here was a legacy of an entire civilization. Proof the Drosolans hadn't been merely enemies. They had been dreamers, scientists, guardians of life. Sarah touched the stasis pod reverently. With this, Kale will never know hunger again. But their triumph was short-lived. Climax, the betrayal and the choice. The patrol frigate had followed them after all, tracking residual engine trails. Soldiers stormed the archive chamber, weapons raised. Step away from the alien, their commander barked, and hand over the archive. Leora stood between them and Sarah, her blaster trembling in her hand. You don't understand, she said. This isn't a threat, it's salvation. These seeds, this knowledge, it could heal worlds, not just theirs. We can't destroy it. But the commander's face was cold. Orders are clear. Aliens are not to be preserved. Their technology belongs to us. As soldiers advanced, Kale whimpered, clutching his mother. The sight tore through Leora like fire. Memories of her daughter's final moments returned. Helpless, powerless, watching life slip away. She would not let it happen again. Then you'll have to kill me first, Leora growled, raising her weapon. The standoff stretched in tense silence. Finally, Sarah stepped forward, her voice trembling but resolute. Take me if you must, but spare my son. Let him live. The commander smirked. Perhaps the boy could be of use. A specimen. That broke the last of Leora's restraint. With a cry, she fired, the chamber erupting in chaos. Energy bolts seared through the air, shattering crystalline nodes. Explosions tore through the floor as Leora and Sarah fought side by side, shielding Kale. In the end, they escaped, but at a cost. The archive, damaged in the firefight, began to collapse. Only a handful of seed pods could be salvaged, carried in a small container. The rest was lost forever, ending the new beginning. They fled once more into the stars, leaving the ruins and the burning patrol ship behind. The universe stretched before them, vast and uncertain. In the quiet aftermath, Sarah sat cradling Kale, who now chewed on dried nutrient seeds with newfound strength. You risked everything, Sarah whispered. For us. For him. Leora leaned back, exhaustion in her eyes, but also a spark of something long buried. I couldn't save my daughter, but maybe I can save yours. And maybe, together, we can plan something better. Sarah touched her hand, alien fingers entwining with human ones. Two mothers, once enemies, now bound by shared loss and hope. The Odyssey sailed toward uncharted worlds, carried within it not just survivors, but the fragile seeds of the future. And though Kale's hunger had once been a cry in the ruins of a dead world, it had become something greater, a promise that even in the cold silence of stars, compassion could ignite life again.